Hi, this is Alex Helmbrecht, the Sports Information Director at Chadron State College, and I'm sitting here this morning with Chadron State head football coach Jay Long. The Eagles improved to 7-2 on the season. More importantly, 6-1 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference with a tough 41-23 victory over Western New Mexico on homecoming Saturday here in Chadron. For those of you fans who were at the game, the first three quarters were kind of weird. The two teams traded leads here and there. CSC had a lead at halftime, 20-17, but then Western New Mexico came out in the third quarter, kicked two field goals, and actually led going into the fourth quarter. But the final stanza belonged to Chadron State. The Eagles scored three touchdowns. Michael Madkins had an 11-yard run. He also scored on a nice 38-yard run where he was basically just tripping into the end zone, did a great job of keeping his feet. And then Nathan Ross scored another touchdown there in the fourth quarter, and the defense came up huge. They had a goal line stand that resulted in a touchdown 4 plays later from 99 yards away, and then 2 interceptions. So, Coach, obviously happy to get the win against a team in Western New Mexico who's really pretty talented, especially on the road. They entered the game being 3-1.
Yeah, when you look at it, I mean, we're kind of a scary team to play. They've beaten some teams that maybe they weren't supposed to beat on paper, and then they've lost to some teams that they probably should have beat on paper. So when you look at it, it was a team that we were nervous, I guess, going into the game. I don't know if I want to use the word nervous, but we knew that they could definitely do some things. And when you look at it, they came out and they played well against us, and our offense and defensively, we probably didn't start the game like we needed to, but we really likened it to like a boxing match. We both teams threw a lot of punches, and at the end, our punches just wore them down, and then we got after it that fourth quarter.
The Eagles finished with 539 yards of total offense. It was the third time Chadron State's gone over 500 yards as a team this season, but ran just 66 plays. You guys are getting used to where you run 80, 90 a game, but Western New Mexico really kind of controlled the pace and tenor of the game for the first three quarters. They finished with 424 yards of total offense. In really a nice, efficient game from Mitch Glassman. He threw for 271 yards until the two picks by Treeland Taylor and Phil Rivera there in the second half. But really, when you're looking at this game, the first name that's going to come to mind is Kevin Lindholm. For those fans who watched the game, I think he had the cowboy collar on for the first time this year and just looked like how you describe a football player. He looked like an eagle out there flying around making tackles. He finished with 17 for the game. He had a half a sack, 5.5 tackles for loss. He recovered a fumble, and he had 2 quarterback hurries. So just one of those games where Kevin will probably look back on his career and said, well, I did pretty much everything I could in that one.
We've been using a term called beast mode, and Kevin was definitely in beast mode. He was in everywhere, all over the field. He's on special teams, and he's truly one of the greats, but one of the best linebackers put on a Eagle jersey, and he was all over the field and just a terrific leader. And we really can't say enough about Kevin. Kevin's been a guy that each week comes to work every single day, and for young guys, up on the practice field, I mean, he's a terrific leader. He sprints from drill to drill. Everything he does is at full speed, and that's why he's such a terrific football player on the game days.
The other star of the game on the offensive side of the ball had to be Glenn Clinton. He rushed for 245 yards, which is a career high. It's the third time this season he's gone over 200 on just 24 carries, so he averaged 10 yards a plug there, and had a long run of 63 yards where he kind of ran out of gas there. He was on the 5-yard line, Chadron State, and then on the next play, the Eagles scored to take the lead. It was really an important chain of events there. But really, if you haven't had the chance to watch Glenn Clinton run, if you like old school football, he's your guy.
I know we've talked about Glenn numerous times, and the thing that just comes to my mind right now is in spring practice this spring, and he was running without pads on because we got to start those first 2 days without pads, and I'm thinking, yeah, he's an okay running back. And then the first day we put pads on, and I see him lower his shoulder and drive the pile straight back. That's when I said, okay, he's more than okay running back. He just runs that football so ferocious. focus. And on the offensive side of the ball, he got the beast mode call yesterday, and he's like I said, one of the best too at that position.
And I could really sound like a broken record talking about quarterback John McClain. Just another incredibly efficient game. He finished 20-29 for 226 yards, 3 touchdowns. That now gives him 24 touchdowns on the season. He's gone over 2,000 yards, and he found another handful of receivers who were open pretty much consistently all day. Chapman Ham had a nice day, three catches for 65 yards to lead the team, and then Nate Ross had another good day, 6 catches for 62. So you're getting that balance that you strive for. Although the running game kind of stole the show with going for over 300 yards and 2 really nice, nifty runs by Mike Madkins after Glenn had set him up. You got to be happy with that balance.
Yeah, I mean, when you're drawn up on board, you'd like to say you're 50-50, 50 run, 50 pass. But the truth of it is as the game goes on, you start finding out what works, and then you stick with it. And I think that our coordinators on both sides of the ball, Coach Stein and Coach Larson, have just done a terrific job of mixing things up and with adjustments and all those type of things, which then helps us stay balanced, or we stick with what works. And also, with that being is our special teams have also been each week bringing a new look, and Coach Jersel's done a good job there.
Well, I'm about to tell you something that you're going to enjoy. You're going to set on your final road trip of the regular season this year. You're going to play at Fort Lewis on Saturday. The Skyhawks are kind of having a tough season. Coach Sandoval is in his second year there, and the Skyhawks are currently 0-8 overall, 0-7 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. But they've kind of had their share of injuries. Quarterback Tim Jenkins, who really is among the RMAC elite in quarterbacks, a very talented player, has kind of been missing the last couple of games, and they've struggled to score. They've scored just 15 points in the last 2 games. But as you mentioned, they're a team that likes to throw it around a lot. They have some talented skill positions, and it's a long trip, and it's going to be a tough game.
When you look at it, this team is a team that's been struggling all season, but their quarterback is a truly a special player. And the last 2 games we played, and now finishing the season with the next 2 teams, everybody likes to throw that ball. And I know our secondary is gets all excited about that, and gets to be in the game a heck of a lot more. And that quarterback's got to be someone that we have to contain, and by getting either pressure on him or into our coverage. And I know that we'll have a good game plan ready for him.
Now, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this publicly, but the Eagles are currently ranked 3rd in the Super Region, which means the new rankings will come out this week. But if the playoffs started tomorrow, at the end of the regular season, Chadron State would host a first-round playoff game, which is something I know a lot of fans around here are really hungry to see. But that being said, you probably have to win out to ensure your place in the Division II playoff field. Is this a tough game to get your team ready for, knowing that Fort Lewis hasn't won this season, and Colorado School of Mines still looms on the horizon as the final game here at the end of the regular season?
I guess the way I look at it is, we have 11 regular season games, and as a football player, you work out all year round for these 11 games, and we're going up against another opponent who's wearing a different color jersey, and we've got to go out there and get up for this game. And that's a challenge to our guys. And when you look at it from big time Division I football all the way down to high school football, you're only allowed to go out on that football field so many times, and our guys have got to go out there and be ready to compete, and beat a team that is wearing different color jerseys, no matter what their record is, no matter what our record is against that team. We just got to go out there and compete.
All right, Coach. Well, football certainly gets exciting this time of year. You're going to play your first game in November, and that's the time when things kind of start to get alive. So appreciate everything, and best of luck to you at Fort Lewis.
Hey, thank you.